They steal this fresh manna kind of concept from this person, and they monopolize on it, package it properly, market it properly, and make millions off of it, right? Never giving the person that they stole it from credit because they feel as if they don't deserve it. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January solar session. I am Princess India if you are new, and if you are family, welcome back, my friend and whatnot, or whatever. If you are not familiar with what my soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings, in which we look at the energies for the month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, guidance, and all that good stuff to help you grow and evolve on your journey and things, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, let's go ahead and hop into your cards. And while I'm pulling those out, I'm gonna let you know, if you didn't know already, that we are resurrecting this card from the Surrender December reading. I did a collective reading last month, and each sign got a card. So I have you guys card here because this speaks to something that is the source of unhappiness in your life, or something that is contributing to unrest in your life that would behoove you, or would have behooved you to leave behind in 2020 or in December. So it is surrender stress, and it says take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Ever since I did Scorpio, I suddenly just like start choking as soon as I start reading what is happening in America. Excuse me, Sagittarius. My apologies. I don't know what is going on. Anywho, take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to center. That's interesting. I'm not going to get too much into that now, but this is more or less something you guys would want to surrender in 2021 or leave behind, if you will. And if we put this into practical application terms, Sagittarius, we really would be talking about simply stress management skills. If that's not something that you guys practice at present, something you may want to implement into your self-care plan in 2021 is learning how to better manage your stress, or identifying when you are stressed out, because I feel that that is affecting you guys' overall experience at present. So at the bottom of your deck, oh, look at that. Okay, we have the Seven of Swords. All of you who have been with me for some time, sorry, I'm just saging a little. Those of you who have been with me for some time already know what the deal is. Whenever I see the Seven of Swords, I always say, what you skip will trip you up later. So, Sagittarius, my attention is being brought back to the surrender card. This is your undergirding energy. So this is an energy that's influencing what it is that we're going to be getting into in your cards on some level or another. We're talking about something that has been hidden from you all. This very well could be something you guys have been hiding from yourself up to this point. Another way I see it, bringing my attention back to the surrender stress card, I feel this is going to become a lesson, as if all of the readings have not been lessons up to this point. So here's the deal. Let me tell you a little story. Not really a story. It's more, psych stuff, but about procrastination. Procrastination and perfectionism are linked. Procrastination is a byproduct of perfectionism. And the reason why people have a tendency to procrastinate or put things off until the last minute, especially if you're an INFJ, I feel you. It's hard out here for us anyway, but you have a tendency to put stuff off until the last minute, mostly because you know the level of stress and unrest that is going to be provoked from something that you're working on, because you're going to want it to be perfect. You're going to want it to look like it looks in your head. And if you're an INFJ, you already know that the way that it's going to look in real life is not going to look like it looks in your head. And just the thought of having to deal with that becomes too much. So perfectionists have a tendency to procrastinate, putting things off until the last minute just because you don't want to feel that unrest. Now, this comes back to the Seven of Swords in the sense of what you skipped, meaning what you pushed off until the last minute, is tripping you up later, because now, you know, something's due. You got 24 hours before you got to turn it in. You know what I'm saying? Or you're just under undue stress. So this is speaking to a perpetuating pattern that I'm seeing for Sagittarius, to where you may consider it your process, or and I said this with another sign, I can't remember who it was, but you may consider this like your creative process, or, you know, I do my best work, like, you know, at the deadline or what have you. But whatever the case, the truth behind whatever it is you guys have pushed off, even if it's finances, if it's like paying bills and stuff like that, is pushing stuff to the side, right? Unnecessarily, because it's not wanting to deal with that discomfort. Another element of this that I feel, and this is more of a faint energy, which means maybe 5% of people may resonate with this, but I feel on some level or another, Sagittarius, some of you guys put way too much pressure on yourselves unnecessarily. It's almost as if living life as if you're running out of time, you know? So you put a lot of pressure on yourself to achieve things or complete things or pay things off, or whatever the case may be. But I feel it's unnecessary in the sense that, you know, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but it's kind of like if you think about like student loans or credit cards or something, right? Of course, you don't want to pay the minimum on your balance. And no, you don't want to pay it off quickly, because that's going to jack up your credit score. But it's kind of like feeling as if, you know, you're going to die in the next year or something. This is hypothetical. Like you're feeling that way. And it's like, I need to pay this off like tomorrow. It's like not necessarily saying it's literally, you know, paying off stuff, but it's just like that fire under your ass kind of vibe. But the thing that I'm feeling with that is that it's an unnecessary fire under your ass. It's like, yes, it's great to be proactive. It's great to adult and things of the sort, but I feel like you guys take that to level 1000 unnecessarily and create unnecessary stress, if that's making sense. So your central energy for the month, okay, we have the Hermit in the reverse. That's Virgo energy. That's fascinating. And this is challenged by the Three of Coins in the reverse. This is so fascinating. Let me turn over your past influence before I start talking. Your past influence, we have the Moon card. Okie dokie, that's Cancerian energy. All right, this is fascinating. Okay, so here's the deal, Sagittarius. Looking at the latter part of December coming into January, you guys have been in a self-reflective state. You guys have been introspective, all really great things. However, going back to what I was saying, like this undue stress, this fire under your ass with this Hermit in the reverse, it's like, and this may sound crazy, it's almost as if you're spending way too much time introspecting. It's like if a person is on the spiritual journey, right, as opposed to living your life, it's like being alone in your room and meditating and introspecting and, you know, doing self-analysis and doing guided meditations and reading lots of books and like watching lots of documentaries and being fixated. And I said this before to Pisces about 2 years ago. I was saying something along the lines of like trying to schedule your awakening. So it's like, okay, so from January to March, first quarter, we're going to do Dark Night of the Soul, right? So after that, you know, we're going to do a little Kundalini uprising, you know, from like April and like May. You know, I don't want to bring it over to June. So just like April, May, we're going to do Kundalini uprising, you know, I'm going to unlock my third eye somewhere around June. You know, bring that into July because it's a number 7 month, you know, it's almost like trying to structure this process. But again, I have to stress that this is unnecessary. It's almost like a sense of a desire to control. It's feeling, and where this unnecessary stress really would be coming from, Sagittarius, that I'm seeing now, is it's overexerting yourself. it's this thought of, if I put all of my time, energy, and effort into this, right, and don't put energy anywhere else, don't spread myself thin and solely focus on this thing, I can get this done quicker. So it's more or less your intention is from a place of like efficiency, you know? So you're thinking about being efficient and not wasting time. It's like, why would I spend 6 months doing this when I could do this in like a month and a half type of deal if I really exert myself, right? So I feel you guys' intentions are well-meaning. I mean, I understand what you're trying to do. However, you're so fixated on the end goal of trying to get from where you are to where you're going that I feel the stuff that you guys are kind of like skipping is really going through the experience. So it's kind of thinking about this whole journey called life, being more fixated on the destination and negating the journey. And that would be a perspective thing. It would be a misunderstanding of what this whole thing is about. It has nothing to do with the destination because there is nowhere to go. You know what I mean? So it's the in between, as opposed to if you think about, you know, point A to point Z isn't of utmost importance. It's what's actually happening between A through Z, if that's making sense, you know? So I feel like it's almost like you guys are creating a great deal of stress within yourselves because your life is off kilter, because you're focused a lot on one particular thing to the detriment of your personal relationships, whether that's like friends or it's family or, you know, romantic relationships, whatever the case, you know what I mean? And I really feel like you guys challenged this month with this three of Pentacles in the reverse, because I do feel like too with this Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and that's kind of like a side note from what I was about to say, it feels like there is an opportunity that's coming for you guys. And I know what y'all being like the sage sign and things, I feel more or less it's almost like in your spirit you feel that. So your intention in doing all of this has a lot to do with being prepared, because it's almost like you guys feel something coming down the pipeline, if you will. But again, it's like a misunderstanding of the energy, because the thought is there's something for me in the near future and I need to prep and prepare myself, you know, for this opportunity. But I feel to your detriment, it's isolating other people from that process, because it's this thought of like looking at other people as like hindrances and distractions, and you need to implement your boundaries because, you know, I need to be centered, I need to be in alignment with myself, I don't need any distractions, you know what I mean, to prepare yourself for what's coming. But I feel the other side of what you guys are missing is the tarot card that would represent you guys, like temperance energy. You know, it's not about letting people violate your boundaries and then going all the way to the other side of the Likert scale and just being like, bump people, you ain't about to violate my boundaries. It's having that mutable ebb and flow, the in between of these two extremes. So in the bigger picture, I see that you guys mean well. Like I said, your intentions, I totally get what you're attempting to do, but there's something that you guys are missing in the midst of this. And it's that middle ebb and flow between the two of these. Your underlying energy, sweet mother, is the Three of Swords in the reverse. So here's the deal. When we talk about what's off balance here, it's vacating heart space, right? And retreating into mental space, right? So it's almost like with this moon card in December, when you guys thought about how it is that you want to approach 2021 or what it is you want to accomplish in 2021, you went within yourself and you had this epiphany and this revelation and things of the sort. And as soon as you came out of your meditative state and we walked over into 2021, Sagittarius said, no heart space, mental space. I got things to do. Opportunities are coming and things. I ain't got time. Ain't no people pleasing. None of that. Just work, 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 work. Right. And that's not what the point of that was. You know what I mean? What you guys went through, that wasn't the concept. It wasn't to vacate your heart space, you know? But I still feel this is influenced by a sense of self-protection, because again, it goes back to this feeling of you're running out of time and you have to do this, but that's just not necessary, you know? And I don't know. I don't think that's like a Sagittarius trait. I don't know if that's like just a trait of you guys' personality. I never thought so. I've always looked at Sagittarius as like free spirits. You know, like if you think about like a retired hippie, like somebody who was a hippie back in the day, and you know they've cleaned themselves up, they went and got a job and all that after they did the whole hippie thing, but it's like they still have that, you know, inner flower child, but it's been molded by wisdom. So it's like channeling that energy properly and wanting to explore the world and things of the sort. That's how, and like philosophers, that's how I've always looked at Sag. I've never really, and I think of Sag as I know, I've never really known you guys to be erratic like that. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't ignore that energy, man. It's like this it's fear-based. But it's really like I'm running out of time and I have to do this and I have to hurry and I have to do this quickly and I don't need any distractions, and you know, and that's completely defeating the purpose for you all. Your above energy is the high priestess. Look at that. So here's the thing, Sag. When we talk about you guys going back into your mental space and cutting off your heart space or your emotional space, whatever the case may be, it's operating a great deal in masculine energy and it's negating the feminine energy. So it's one of those things where, and that's Pisces energy, by the way, it's one of those things where it's almost like, okay, with the moon card, Spirit was the one who told Sagittarius that there was something coming down the pipeline, right? And that's like the feminine aspect. It's your feminine energy, like your inner world, your emotional realm, your heart space, whatever you want to call it. That's the receptive facet of who you are, right? That feminine aspect is who received the message, right? And communicated it to the brain, which would be masculine energy, right? So the mind is now going to channel this into, you know, the your intention slash will energy, which is another masculine facet, so that it can impregnate, proverbially speaking, another feminine aspect, that of which would be your physical body, right? So you can take actions, channeling all of that will and intention through your physical body to accomplish things, right? That would be the manifestation or the creation process. However, right? Sag got the heads up on this thing, but skipped processes in the creation process, right? Cut off the emotional aspect of things and is attempting to channel both mental and, like, you know, action energy through the physical body, right? And cutting off the heart space. However, that feminine aspect within is who gave you the advice or the heads up or the vision in the first place. So the reason why you guys are coming to a place what could, and the first thing I wanted to say was burnout, is not just stress. It's like where I feel like you guys are coming to a place of burnout or have in the past. And this is the thing that Spirit is kind of trying to nip in the bud with this, is a lack thereof of fluidity. It's going into rigid, you know, action and motion and movement forward, in so many words. And I think that's how you guys can get burned out, or things don't necessarily manifest or matriculate the way that you desire, right? So I say all of this to say that this high priestess in your above energy is speaking to you guys, going back and retrieving that part of yourself that you forgot, which is your inner emotional space and connection to spirit, and allowing that to be your guide. It's overly relying, or have up to this point, overly relying on one's masculine facets. And I'm not talking about masculine in the sense of penises and things. I mean this in the sense of like creation energy. So like divine masculine and feminine energies, you know what I mean? So it's needing to reattune with that, because things are off kilter with this Hermit in the reverse, and you're doing too much in one particular area because you don't have that aspect to balance it out. And I feel like that's what the whole lesson was, or is rather, right? So with the Seven of Swords being at the bottom of you guys' deck, this would be saying, not just with this month, but I think several times prior to this, the hiccup that throws you off a lot of times is the fact that the thing that you're skipping is you get the divine revelation from spirit, but then you leave spirit out of it when you're moving forward. And I think that's why things are coming off kind of off kilter, if that's making sense. And moving forward, we have the Emperor in the reverse. So I ain't never seen, that's Aries energy. That's a lot of major arcanas. Ooh, child. Just realized that. Anywho, but with the Emperor in reverse, I usually don't see the Empress like this. But this is almost like tempering your masculine energy, you know? Because I feel you guys have been, and I say this not to trigger anyone, but like when I talk about toxic masculinity, I'm not talking again about people with penises, right? Or the whole feminist construct of what it is that people in society are talking about with that. No, that is not what I mean. Even women can partake in toxic masculinity. What I mean by that is an energetic vibration. It's when you are vacating the feminine aspects of one's personhood, you know, your emotional body, right? Your inner sanctum, your heart space, whatever terminology you want to use. It's forsaking that and putting a lot of worth, value, time, effort, and energy into the masculine aspects of one's personhood, which would be intellect, right? It would be form, which is what the number 4 and what the Emperor would represent, you know? External building of things, the erecting of things, power, control, you know, leadership, dominion, domination, all of the things valued by Western society. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I think all of us on this side of the pond are guilty of. You know what I mean? Capitalism and all those good things, you know what I mean? But the whole premise of this is tempering that, because it's operating way too much in that. So it's almost like, and this is interesting how I'm seeing this, Sagittarius, because this is happening within a Sagittarius person. It's almost like if you were to think about people who steal intellectual property, right? So you think about a person who is creative, right? Free-spirited creative that isn't really, you know, concerned about like, you know, money and, you know, being known and all that. It's like, I just want to create, right? And they have these amazing ideas, right? Trailblazing ideas. And then you have this person who's an opportunist, right? So they're going to go hear, listen, watch a person who's a creative, and they make the decision within themselves, oh, this person lacks business acumen. You know, they don't know how to make money off of this. So they steal the person's idea. And because they have a prowess in business or marketing or advertising, they steal this fresh manna kind of concept from this person, and they monopolize on it, package it properly, market it properly, and make millions off of it, right? Never giving the person that they stole it from credit because they feel as if they don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like what happened to Nikola Tesla when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? What Westinghouse did to Nikola Tesla is exactly what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And why this poor man died in squalor. You know, it's a concept like that. However, this is happening within oneself, right? So it's getting divine revelation from spirit, right? And then being like, thanks, spirit, needed that. And then like shutting that off. And it's like, all right, let me return back to my 3D human self with this divine revelation and try to manifest this madame self. You know what I'm saying? That's like the vibe that I'm getting. But that's the reason why you end up burning yourself out, because you need this connection to this high priestess energy to know how to unfold this, if you will, because trying to manifest something like this in just solely, rogue, like masculine energy is what starts to make it proverbially toxic, in the sense of meaning that it's operating in that too much and there is no balance. Like there's nothing to counterbalance it. And I think that's why you guys aren't getting the fruit that you desire. So it's looking around at other stuff in your life that you're perceiving as distractions. It's like, I need to spend more time alone. I need to not talk to people. I need to not be around people. And that's not what it is. It's the fact of staying connected to both of those vibrations at the same time and letting the two of them serve each other, if that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense, Sagittarius. I'm going over to Patreon, Vimeo, YouTube members, on my website to do you guys extended. If you don't know, you're extended. I'm playing out the rest of these cards. And then we're doing an overview of 2021. I'm using oracles, so it's nothing to fear, my friend. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. If not, I still love your face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. You know what I'm saying? Love your face, Edge. Love your face. Okay.